Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk about political violence, unfortunately, in light of recent events. And, it wasn't too long ago, just a few months ago, where I made a video about political violence in response to the Trump assassination attempt. And I wanted to rehash some of the points I made in that video here, but I tried, and I honestly didn't do a very good job, so I'm just going to let that video speak for itself. The ideas were a little more fresh on my mind at the time. And I will say, I do believe I made some good points in that video, and it's kind of related to this one. So if you want to watch it, I'll leave a link in the description. Otherwise, on to this video. So what I'm going to talk about are some of the responses I've seen to this Charlie Kirk assassination. And in particular, I'm going to talk about responses I have seen within left and right-wing echo chambers, okay? So when we talk about echo chambers, largely talking about online echo chambers, social media platforms, right? So these echo chambers develop very well on social media platforms. They're practically tailor-made for social media platforms. And the social media platforms we're speaking of are, of course, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, whatever else you use. I don't even use half of them. But first, we'll start with, I guess, the left-wing echo chambers. So inside these left-wing echo chambers, what I am seeing are tons and tons of left-wingers who are absolutely fucking desperate to prove to other people that they are not affiliated with the shooter. And this makes sense, right? If you believe in your left-wing ideology, if you believe that your left-wing ideology is required to make the world a better place, then what you're going to be inclined to do is separate yourself from violent people. You do not want your ideology being tainted by violence. You do not want your political opposition believing that you require violence to spread your ideology. You don't want unaffiliated people to believe that you require violence to spread your ideology. If you use violence to spread your ideology, you lost. You already lost to your opposition. You lost the debate. So, at the end of the day, this is a defense mechanism. Left-wingers defending themselves in order to defend their ideology. They do not want their ideology being tainted again by violence. But where there is defense, there is often offense, okay? The defense is often rational, but sometimes the offense gets a little irrational. It's a little radical and illogical. And in this particular scenario, what I'm talking about is that those same left-wingers who are separating themselves from the violence are often also making assumptions about the killer. And what are they doing? They're assuming the killer is a right-winger, right? They're assuming the shooter is a right-winger. And in doing so, you're making an assumption. You're making a generalization. Because we do not know who the shooter is yet, right? We don't know their political affiliation. Actually, in fact, as of the time of releasing this video, I think the shooter was turned in by his family, which is a good thing. But we still don't know his political affiliation, so the left wing is sitting here shooting in the dark. They're making generalizations that are not actually going to help their cause. They're not going to help their ideology. Those generalizations diminish their ability to spread their ideology because they represent a lack of integrity. So, on the other hand, if you know anything about this channel, you know what I'm about to say. Let's flip over to the right-wing ideologies. In those right-wing echo chambers, the exact same thing is being mirrored. The exact same behavior is being mirrored by the right-wingers. Right-wingers are fucking desperate to prove to other people that they are not affiliated with the shooter, and then they are also making the leap to claim that the shooter is, of course, affiliated with the left. Who could have seen this coming? I could have seen it coming. There's a lot of people who could have seen it coming, right? And I don't want to make it seem like what I'm presenting to you here is a revelation, because the truth is there's a lot of normal people who aren't caught up so deeply in these tribal mindsets of left and right that they can see this. And what is it that they can see? Well, what they are seeing, what I am seeing, is that violence can infiltrate left and right-wing ideologies, just as peace can. Peace can also infiltrate left and right-wing ideologies. left and right wing ideologies can express themselves peacefully and violently. Okay? Violence is not something that is attached to either left wing or right wing ideologies. Violence is an entirely separate force that invades both of them and taints whatever it invades. So, I'll leave you with this. If you, I'll say it like this, okay? If you are a peaceful right winger or a peaceful left winger, you have more in common with each other than you do with a violent person from either political affiliation. Okay? There is more in common with the left wing and right wing peaceful political activist than there is with the violent political activist and the peaceful political activist of the same political affiliation. Okay? In other words, I'll say it one more way. Violent leftists and violent right-wingers have more in common with each other than violent right-wingers have with peaceful right-wingers, or than peaceful left-wingers have with violent left-wingers. You picking up on the point here. I'll say this one more time. Violence is a force that invades ideologies and taints them. It can invade left-wing ideologies. It can invade right-wing ideologies. Until you start to prioritize your identity with the peaceful ideologies above the left or right-wing ideologies, you will continue to see this political violence. Nothing will change until we learn to unite behind peaceful motives as opposed to violent motives. So, thanks for watching.